Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We are going to go through some amazing information, so make sure you have your notebook and your pens ready to take some notes. And just a little bit about Nikki and I hosting tonight and about us if you are not familiar with who we are or our story. I got started with Young Living almost 8 years ago. And our first experience was, like a lot of people, I had a 2-year-old little boy who struggled really bad with allergies and asthma. And so I had been to a pediatric pulmonologist and allergy specialist, and finally had hit my wall and my wit's end. And a friend of mine who was already on her crunchy journey, which I was far from, gave me a bottle of peppermint. She showed me where to apply it. And, it was that night or the day after that I had, gone to get all his meds ready because he was in a flare-up. And I put the peppermint on his feet and went to go fill up his albuterol inhaler and his, what's that thing called?
Nebulizer.
The nebulizer. And I got back to him and he had completely stopped coughing, completely stopped wheezing. And so that was a really huge aha moment with me because I'd never seen something with a respiratory issue work so quickly. So from then on, he's been off all meds and it's just changed our life dramatically in the past 8 years. What about you, Nikki?
Yeah, so Heather and I have a very similar story about how we got introduced to the oils. And my youngest daughter was having a lot of respiratory issues and skin issues. And we saw such amazing results with her that we also tried the oils on my husband that same year. And he started taking lavender and lemon and peppermint vitality oils in capsules. And he was able to get off all of his allergy things that were kind of masking, but keeping him, from being miserable. And so the oils totally transformed the way that he took care of himself also, because we were just managing, and now we're able to be preventative and know, during certain seasons, things that we need to do. So we've been using oils now it'll be 6 years this fall, and they are everywhere in our home. When we first bought our starter kit, it was, okay, whoever needed the diffuser the most got it in their bedroom at nighttime.
Yep.
And now all of our diffusers have replaced the candles in our home. They've replaced our Febreze, all those things that I did not know were actually causing a lot of the issues that we were having. So it's really opened up our eyes to taking care of our family in a holistic way that actually is, in the long run, is saving us so much money, because we see our doctors so much less, which is totally fine with us. But Heather and I are all about empowering you guys to become educated consumers in all things. And tonight's class is kind of a special one, a different type of topic that we haven't talked about very much, but we're really excited to be here.
Yes, definitely. So we are going to go through quite a bit of information. This is just to let you know, don't be fearful. Like, this is just a journey of being aware and coming to an awakening point of things that are going on around you. And so we don't know how to do things better if we don't know what is actually going on around us. So I'm just going to read, and Nikki's got a great PowerPoint for us. So we'll start. The negative effects of electromagnetic fields, which are EMFs, that's the short abbreviation if you try to Google or research anything. It actually continues to ignite conversations and controversy worldwide. It's the most dangerous pollution affecting you is the invisible sea of EMFs your body swims in daily. You are exposed to EMFs all day long, not only in the public, but inside your home also. So most of the radiation emits from things like your cell phones, cell towers, computers, smart meters, and Wi-Fi. And that's just to name a few of them. And, we know that we live in the 21st century. We can't completely like go off the grid and live in a hermit hole. So these are just some information just to process. And then we're going to give you some great practical tips. So while it's nearly impossible to avoid EMF exposure completely, there are practical ways to limit it. Given the number of EMFs that bombard you all day long, getting educated about these things and about the negative effects of EMF is very imperative to your well-being, particularly if you are dealing with serious illness. And I will mention this: when I attended the Platinum Retreat in Ecuador last November, the doctor there the EMFs was on the radar. Like, they don't have very much at the clinic there. You have to there's hardly any Wi-Fi. I mean, it's just because of the body burden. And when you're trying, especially with serious illness, it's just something that you need to try to avoid. So if you have been told that EMFs are safe and not a danger to humans, you might want to reconsider. And I want to bring this topic up too, just because we are coming into an area where you may be seeing things about what's called the 5G. And also notice that Apple is coming out with a new, better, and bigger phone. So just kind of process this information along with these things. We all want our internet to work faster. We all want, we want to be connected immediately, but that may not be the best thing for our health. The telecommunication industry has manipulated federal regulatory agencies, public health authorities, and professionals through powerful and sophisticated lobbying efforts, leaving consumers confused and unaware of the health risks associated with EMFs. Any negative health effects from EMFs, similar to smoking, may not be immediately noticeable, but will likely develop gradually over time. So cell phones, indeed, are the new cigarette public health threat of the 21st century, unfortunately. Okay. So let's go over a little bit what EMFs are and why this frequency is so, bad for us. So according to the National Institute of Environmental Health and Sciences, EMFs are invisible areas of energy, often referred to as radiation, that are associated with the use of electrical power. Most agree on the hazards associated with ionizing radiation, is why the dental hygienists actually cover you with the lead apron when they take the x-rays, when you go in and get your teeth. That's why they put that on. And that's why they go and stand behind the wall. Even if you even go into the ER to get an x-ray, that's why, the ER doctor goes behind the wall while they take the pictures. So similarly, you would expect to get sunburned if you had bare skin, is overexposed to the sun's powerful UV rays. But ionizing radiation is genuinely believed to have enough energy to break the covalent bonds in DNA, but actually the most of the damage is due to the oxidative stress, which we talk a lot about how great Ninja Red is for, oxidative free radicals and all those things. That's why for me and my family, Ninja Red every day is non-negotiable. So the type of EMF your cell phone emits is in the microwave. So let's, your microwave 2 to 5 gigahertz. So besides your cell phone, electronics such as baby monitors, your Bluetooth devices, cordless phones, smart thermostats, and Wi-Fi routers consistently emit microwave radiation at levels that may damage your mitochondria. And you can Google that and research that for yourself, but that word mitochondria is what you're going to want to research when you're looking up EMF, because that's essentially what's being broken down with the radiation. So interestingly, there are a number of studies that show double and single strand DNA breaks that are actually higher when exposed to non-ionizing microwave radiation than regular ionized radiation. So this is believed to be due to the excessive oxidative stress that this type of EMF exposes. So Nikki and I are going to go through a couple of, again, I'm not perfect. I run a business from my phone. I homeschool my kids. We're on the computer a lot. We have a Wi-Fi router. We have a microwave. We don't use it. I use it occasionally. So let's just go over, Nikki, a couple of things that we can, do that doesn't break the bank, but just are some simple tips.
Yeah. So I just wrote down the things that I'm going to read through, and what I want to encourage you guys, because it really is all about baby steps, in the same way as it is where we get our starter kit and we've got these 11 oils, right? It's these 11 oils that we're like, just focus on using these, use them, learn about them, and then you can move on to other things, right? And so I really encourage you guys that listen to this, whether you're live or you're watching this on the recording, pick 5 things, and maybe you're reading through this and you're like, I've already done 5 things, then pick 5 more, okay? And just work on improving your lifestyle so that you are having less body burden, which is another kind of term that a lot of people will hear. It's a burden on your body. So if we can relieve some of that, then we're going to live healthier lives, and your family will too. Okay, so here we go. The first one, connect your desktop computer to the internet via a wired connection, and be sure and try to use, put your desktop in airplane mode. So this is something that you can also do with your cell phones. That's what we do at nighttime. If we're using our phones for, like an alarm or anything like that, then we always put it on airplane mode. And then also it's the moon. If you have an Apple, it's just the nighttime mode, but you can do that with your computer as well. And just like Heather said earlier, try to avoid things that are wireless, if at all possible, like just getting wireless everything. Just try to limit some of those, or if you have the option, use the cord instead. The next one is, if you have Wi-Fi in your home, which a lot of people do, I do too, shut it off when you're not using it. And for us, my husband, Phil, and I, we work from home, so we're using Wi-Fi all the time. But at nighttime, I had him show me a few weeks ago how to turn off the Wi-Fi at night, which honestly, I had just never thought about. We don't need Wi-Fi going on throughout our houses while we're sleeping. And it's as easy literally as just pulling a little thing out. Like, and your router might have a switch, but I just pull it out, and then in the morning I plug it back in. And that is going to limit, our body's exposure a whole lot. The next one is shutting off your electricity at night. This typically works to reduce the electrical fields from the wires in your walls. And so obviously just having all light off is a good thing. It's also better for your circadian rhythm to be able to get into a deeper sleep. The next one that I also just switched over to is using a battery-powered clock, and one that doesn't have any light. They now have talking clocks. If you press down on it, it'll tell you the time. I literally just found a clock for like $9 on Amazon that I can just push down on the light. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to see it, I'll just push it down and it'll turn on. But it's a clock with hands. So, but anyway, that's just reducing the electricity being on. And so that was really simple. The next one is like what Heather talked about. If you still have a microwave, which we do still have one. We actually didn't have one for like 7 years in Oklahoma, but we do have one here that just kind of came with the house. And I'm the same as Heather. We just use it occasionally, like twice a week, occasionally, just to like heat up something if we're in a hurry. And
something with that too, like if you're using it, don't stand right in front of it. Like turn it on and, we'll walk away. I've been trying to keep use it as a little storage spot so that I'm not tempted to have to take everything out. But there's just some times where it's like, ugh, I need the freaking microwave. But
right. And so, everything in moderation, but just reducing it is at least a whole lot better. One thing that we did a few Christmases ago, it was when we first moved into the house, on a Black Friday sale, we bought a convection little oven that goes on the top of our countertop. And that's what we do to heat up our food. It also has a toaster option. It was like on this crazy sale for like 35 or something dollars. And that's what we use the majority of the time to heat things up, if not just on the stove. Yes, it is a little bit more washing, but honestly, I teach my kids to wash the pans. Like, teach your family to help clean up out also. The next one is avoid using smart appliances. This is really hard again, obviously, because our TVs are smart TVs. There's just all of these things where that is emitting Wi-Fi signals. And so again, just, if you're not using it, maybe unplug it or just turn off the Wi-Fi if it's not needed. They also talk about smart meters, which is something that has been around for a long time. You can ask for a shield to be added to it. These are the smart meters for like your thermostats in your house. And by having a shield added, which you can call and ask for them to do, it reduces the radiation by 98 to 99%. So call your provider if you have a smart reader or a smart meter, and just ask if they have shields. The next one is consider moving your baby's head into just the head, just move the baby's head. Move the baby's bed into your room instead of using a baby monitor, or use a hard-wired monitor. Just avoid wireless monitors, which again, I know like this is a very hard thing to do, but maybe when you're traveling, you just use the Wi-Fi one, just kind of figuring out.
Or buy the one that doesn't have the monitor where it's like a video screen.
Right.
Like buy the cheap baby monitor.
Just hear the voice. Exactly. Yes. Okay. The next one is replacing CFL bulbs with incandescent bulbs. Ideally, remove all fluorescent lights from your house. Not only do they emit unhealthy light, but more importantly, they will actually transfer current to the body just by being close to the bulbs. And for me as a parent, I hate reading this because my kids go to school, and all the teachers, that are underneath all of the fluorescent light the entire day, it's really hard on their body. Abby comes home, and even with these blue screen glasses, her eyes are still really exhausted, and she's noticing it more this year than she has in the past. And so it's a hard thing to do, but what we try to do is as soon as we get home, we are outside. We're off screens. We go on bike rides. We walk the dog, just kind of getting outside. The next one is avoid carrying your cell phone on your body unless it's in airplane mode, and never sleep with it in your bedroom unless it's in airplane mode, and especially not under your pillow. Even in airplane mode, it can still emit signals, which is why it's good just to not have it in your room if at all possible. I do have mine. I use mine as my alarm, but I do have it in airplane mode, and it will still the alarm will still wake you up. So, and then the last one, when using your cell phone, use the speaker. This is something else. I was just talking to Heather about this. It's something that I've really been cognizant of, and I carry my headset with me, or my earpiece, because I do a lot of talking while I'm driving or while I'm traveling, and so I use the speaker if I'm in my car, or this earpiece, just trying not to have the phone.
Yeah, try not to keep it by your head.
By your head. Exactly. Okay. Anything else, Heather, on those?
Nope, it's perfect.
Okay. One thing that I wanted to mention that I don't think I mentioned later is something called grounding, which it basically, honestly, you guys, literally just means going outside once a day, taking your shoes off, and walking in the dirt or in the grass. And I know for me, it just is like a reset to my body. Even though I'm working from home, and some days, like some work days, I'm just like really focusing on getting things done in the house, I have to tell myself, and having a dog is kind of nice because it's like, I got to go take the dog on a walk, but getting outside and taking your shoes off, it kind of is a reset to the body. And I have a really good link that I'm going to post in our event about this thing called grounding. People that live by the beach swear by it because they just walk on the sand every day. But those of us that live in the Midwest, we can just take off our shoes and just walk around outside.
Yep. Especially if you're, I mean, I homeschool my kids too. So I have kind of gotten off the annoying, put your shoes on before you go outside. Like they're barefoot hooligans. So
yeah, no, that's good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and jump into, oils. Okay. So can you see me, Heather?
Yep.
Okay, because I can just see you. So, okay. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about how oils can benefit us and some specific oils with when we're dealing with radiation, when we're dealing with EMF. So Heather and I use a book called The Essential Oils Desk Reference. It's put out by Life Science Publishing. I have about 6 of these-ish. But the old ones are really, really good because they have some amazing protocols in them. And so I looked up radiation exposure, and that's what I'm going to talk about for a few minutes. So if you are really interested in, like for me, I have an autoimmune issue called adrenal fatigue. And thank goodness this happened like 5 years ago, and I am so much better because of essential oils and because of Young Living's supplements and just kind of changing my lifestyle. But I still have to really watch it. And so this is something I'm really passionate about. But I'm going to read a short paragraph and then talk to you guys about a kit that Gary Young specifically made for this topic. So if you have the desk reference, this is on page 676 of the 6th edition. So many cancer treatments use radiation therapy that can severely damage both the skin and vital organs. Using gentle antioxidant essential oils topically, as well as proper nutrients internally, is helpful in minimizing radiation damage. Daily radiation from cell phones, computers, air travel, televisions, all type of electronic equipment, and kitchen appliances bombard us constantly. The more we can do to protect ourselves as well as cleanse on a regular basis, the better health we can maintain. And that's one thing that I didn't talk about in a minute ago, but something called detox baths, which I'm pretty sure was on that list. If you're not doing detox baths, I would highly encourage you to do them once a week. Start out by doing it once a week. And the one that Heather and I use is 4 cups Epsom salts, 4 cups hydrogen peroxide, and 4 cups baking soda. And you can add some essential oils to the baking soda or the Epsom salts. I just recommend nothing hot, but add that to, mix it up and then dump it into the bath. Sit in the bath for about 20 minutes. It's my way of taking care of myself and making time for myself. And I do that for me and for my kiddos once a week. And if we're feeling yucky, then we'll do it more than that. Okay, there is a environmental protection kit that Gary Young made right after the Fukushima explosion, basically. So it's called Quad Shield. Okay, Quad Shield. And it is a kit that combines 4 powerful products to help us take precautionary and important steps towards potential radiation effects that bombard us daily. So it contains the essential oil blends, Longevity and Melrose, and the nutritional supplements Super C and Thyromin. So I'm going to just read to you guys a minute.
Hey, can you change that graphic real quick? And put
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here it is. So here's what's in it, okay? The Longevity are now in these really great little gels, and that isn't that this month's promo? Because I bought it. I mean, I have it, or did I buy it? I can't
No,
remember.
I probably bought it, but from what, like, years, like, this is one of the top things that Gary preached about. Like, there's just some things that are just non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And this was one that was top of his supplement list.
Yes. So Longevity essential oil. So there's also just the essential oil. So if you have that and you're like, I don't really know how to use it, put it in a capsule and take it every single day. Take like 6 to 8 drops a day and just and just swallow it like that. But longevity soft gels increase the oxygen and the ATP, which is the adenosine triphosphate, which is cellular fuel for increasing cell life, again, into the cells of your body, and immunity for stronger resistance against damage from environmental pollution and potential daily radiation exposures. So I obviously bought that last month, and I just know that, especially during the fall, I feel like I really need to be taking care of my thyroid. And so longevity is amazing. For adults, it's like 2 to 4 capsules a day. If you have kiddos, they can take 1 to 2 capsules a day. And then it also comes with the blend Melrose. And most people in the oil world think of Melrose for ears, right? For ears, if we have any ear trouble. But Melrose is actually wonderful for radiation. So it's formulated with 2 species of Melaleuca, and by Dr. Daniel Pionel and another PhD. They found that it would help to prevent cellular damage from environmental pollution and potential daily radiation exposure. So how do you use Melrose? Well, I apply it right over my thyroid, and I apply it right over my adrenals. I would absolutely I would take that in a capsule, Melrose Vitality. I would take that in a capsule, no problem. And remember, Melrose and Melrose Vitality are the exact same oil, so you can use them however you want. And then also just diffusing it. And if you don't love just the blend Melrose, you could blend it with like orange or peppermint.
Yeah, or lemon. It smells good when you
I don't mind
add a citrus. Yeah, exactly.
And again, really great for I apply Melrose in just with a roller ball on my girls before they go to school, along with Endoflex essential oil. Those are both really great. And Endoflex has Melrose in it, but if I feel like we're needing to beef it up, I'll do that too. Okay, the other one that's really awesome is called Super C, and that's a chewable. This is one that's obviously wonderful for boosting your immune system, but it also provides the body with 2,166% of the recommended dietary intake of the powerful antioxidant vitamin C, but it's enhanced with minerals, bioflavonoids, and pure orange, lemon, and other essential oils. It's another antioxidant and a free radical scavenger that supports the immune system and protects healthy cells from being damaged by the effects of environmental pollution and potential daily radiation exposure. So this is something that's like a no-brainer for me. My kids are at school all day. They have iPads in the classrooms now, which our bodies never had to deal with as kiddos. They're under the fluorescent lights. Like, again, I'm not trying to be like over the top, but Super C is such an easy one for me to give to them, along with the Ningxia Red every day. That's just a really great way to boost their immune systems. The next one is called Thyromin, and you guys, it's called that because it's great for our thyroids. So both men and women have thyroids. They are right down here. They look like a butterfly. If you look it up, if you Google it. Thyromin contains potassium iodide, and kelp, which is researched and proven to protect the thyroid from environmental radiation. Other ingredients give support and nutrition to provide the thyroid and the adrenal glands for a healthier glandular system. So I take Thyromin every day, and I always have a backup Thyromin in my pantry. I will give Phil Thyromin occasionally, just like be like, you need to take this with his other daily supplements. Just when I feel, well, especially when he travels, he's on airplanes often, and so when he gets back from traveling, I'll give him some Thyromin. Not everybody needs this every day. For me, because I have adrenal issues and my thyroid, I have thyroid issues as well. It's just a supplement that I need to take every single day. And then the last one that's not in this kit, but that is right underneath it, is Ningxia Red. And so this is one that Heather and I take every single day. Huge antioxidant support. There's a website called ningxiared.com that has all kinds of information on it, but we give my girls between 1 to 2 ounces a day, and then Phil and I take between 2 and 4 ounces a day. So the other oils and supplements that I listed on this screen are Endoflex, Endogize, Mineral Essence, Essential Zyme, Mu Pro, omega dyes, and frankincense. And so those are others that if you're really wanting to work on radiation protection, those would be good to start cashing in your essential rewards points with, or putting on your next orders.
Okay, now we're going to go over just some tips about kids and screen time. This, I'm just going to tell y'all, homeschooling 6 kids. Well, I don't really homeschool, a little too, but screen time has actually been something where we kind of ebb and flow in and out of it. But it's really, it's kind of, well, you'll hear whenever I tell you this. So children are actually of greater risk than adults are from EMFs. So I have a schedule on my kitchen, just like a chore chart that, we all grew up with. I have a screen time chart in the kitchen. And so sadly, most of our youth have widely adopted the wireless revolution, and it is your responsibility as the parent, literally, you are in charge of what comes in your home, to teach your children, about these dangers without just, freaking them out, but having an open conversation. Many kids have cell phones and wireless tablets before the age of 5, and many children sleep with their phones on or under their pillows. So this is exposing them to far more serious health threat than their grandparents had when they were smoking as adolescents. So let's just go over a few tips. And I can tell you, this is not an easy thing, but once you have an open dialogue with your children about it, they understand that you're not being mean about it. It's for their concern of their health, So as a parent, model healthy electronic use. It's important to role model healthy electronic use for your children. So before you binge watch your favorite Netflix series, remember to set a good example. Keeping the TV on for background noise all the time, or scrolling through your phone anytime you have a spare minute, teaches your children bad examples. And I can give, if you are home with your kids a lot, I just turn music on. I turn the TV off, and I'll be doing laundry and the kids are playing, or, whatever they're doing, and the TV is off. And then I'm not getting on. When you are doing some things, if you run a business from home, you are more likely on your phone all the time. But I homeschool, so I've had to put some big limits on that. Educate yourself personally as the parent on electronics. Today's kids, I can tell you, they are so much more tech savvy than we are. They know more about electronics than the majority of adults. And that's why it's essential to stay up to date on the latest cell phone app or the newest cool social media craze. So you can create technology-free zones. I can give you an example. When I do meals, my boys were grabbing phones and bringing them to the table and sitting there and watching phones while they're eating. And so the table is a technology-free zone. So sometimes I take my phone in when I go take my alone bath, and I just, watch whatever I want to watch. But I shortly after saw the kids start taking the phone to the bath. I'm like, okay, so the bath is a, technology-free zone. So establish those zones in your house where you just don't allow electronics. I would highly, highly consider your bedroom. The bedrooms just don't. And again, my boys are separated, but they have their game equipment up in one bedroom, and we do what Nikki talked about earlier. We just turn the Wi-Fi off. So we turn it off, and they can't even get on to play. Set aside times to unplug for them and for the entire family to become unplugged from technological devices. Like example, dinner hour or an hour before bedtime can be great times for the entire family to have quality time without TV, video games, and computers. You might also consider a digital detox for your entire family. We've done that a couple of times, and it's been really, I kind of dreaded it, but it ended up being a really good experience where we just didn't get on our stuff. We just didn't. Use parental controls. So protect your kids from the explicit content on the TV and online by using the parental controls that allow you to monitor what your children are viewing on TV and what they're doing online. Talk to them about the dangers of too much screen time. Don't freak them out, but I have talked to all my kids about, mommy's turning the TV off, or I need the phone now. You don't get it. They understand. So also encourage other activities. Kids easily grow dependent on technology for entertainment. Encourage your children to become involved in activities that don't involve screens. So we're coming out of summer, and thankfully we have a neighborhood pool that we literally went to every single day. I was the tannest I've ever been in my entire life. But that's closed now, so we just went and got a trampoline, which we just put up today. So just be creative with things that, keep the kids engaged in things outside of technology. Make screen time a privilege. My biggest tip is things like they have their chore chart. So, if they are neglecting to do things, or if they get on and hop on their screen time before they've done their chores, then I'm like, okay, have you done this? Do you want to do your, do you want to play on screens today? Then this is your chore that you need to do. And you can actually take away privileges. It's a real thing. I grew up like that, and it's effective. It's a very effective tool. Because I know it's so hard with kids. We just want them sometimes to shut up. And, we hand them stuff and just be like, just go away. I can't. But you can take them away. So, such as TV time or computer use as a negative consequence. So once you've set a limit on how much screen time is allowed, don't allow kids to earn extra time as a reward. If you have a set time in your home that you're going to allow the screen time, don't add on additional time as a reward, because just think of it as it's more body burden on their immune system. They're exposed to that even longer. So keep your maximum time and don't negotiate with that. Mm-hmm. Stick to the daily limit and offer other free or low cost rewards. So, Five Below is a fantastic place. Dollar Tree, pick up some Play-Doh, get your kids, I know a lot of you maybe don't homeschool, but with me, it's a constant struggle. I can only make so much slime in one day. So I hear you people, but these are just some things that we need to be aware of so that we are helping to lessen the exposure for our children. Really think about media and screen time in your children's bedroom. It's impossible to monitor a child's screen time if it's allowed in the bedroom. And I know this because of my 12-year-old. And they don't own their own phones. They just have our old phones. So they don't text, they don't talk to people. It's not hooked up to anything else other than Wi-Fi for them to watch a YouTube show or whatever. But I have had issues where I've had to take it away because he's taken it and I didn't know, and he's in there watching Fortnite till 10 o'clock at night. So just make it a really big priority for you as the parent to understand about electronics. Literally right now in our day and age, our health is under siege from every single direction. So the most complex tasks can be made really easy if you just take one step at a time. And I know whenever I first, it was the microwave was one of the biggest things. I put a freaking Post-it note on it and just said, do not use.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, do not use.
Mm-hmm.
So put Post-it notes. If your husband puts his phone in his pocket, talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him, please, try to carry that or put it on your dashboard or in the seat of the car, and things like that. Nikki and I are going to post in the groups or the events some specific companies that we feel comfortable with the amount of scientific research that have done with things like, I have my phone in this EMF protector. And so when I'm on the phone like this, I can but when I'm talking, I close it and talk on it like that. So it's just, there's several different great companies out there trying to really help us out, and we will give you all that information. And if you all have any other questions, you can contact us, tag us in the events, and we will make sure to answer your comment. So we really thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and hope that you got some, maybe a little bit of info that you didn't know, or maybe you didn't know any of it. We just really want to, expose these different areas of things that bombard our health and make it really, kind of challenging to heal, especially if you're in a crisis. So we will be doing a part 2 to this series that may be advanced. So this is like, if you don't really want to know, then you don't need to come, type of stuff. So, but the good thing about it is, and now I'll tell you another thing that I do on a daily basis, is I just verbally say, Lord, just protect us. I pray, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And, just protecting and covering our house with prayers and things like that. Because ultimately there are some things that are just literally out of our control. And so I hope you gained some tips and some wisdom from tonight. And we so appreciate it all very, very much.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.